There's been a string of motorcycles that have been favorites of mine that I came close to, but I just never did purchase. I think the next one I really had hots for as I was in the Army in 1976. Well, actually, I'm going to go back to 1974. I went into a little shop in Augusta, Georgia, when I was going through advanced individual training, and there was a John Player Norton with the two headlights, the red, white, blue. Oh man, oh buddy. Of course, that wouldn't do for me because I was living mostly off of $125 a month, and I think out of that $100 went to the car payment. So I was visiting the pawn shop about every week to pawn something so I could afford, but I really wanted that John Player Norton. I said, I'm going to give me one of those. Then I think it was 1976 or 77 when Harley Davidson came out with the black, Willie G designed it, XLCR, the black, all black Siamese exhaust system. Oh, I just thought that was, yeah, it was the best looking bike I'd seen. Oh, I had to have that one too. I even thought about getting it, but I ended up going to Germany and ended up buying a little 250 Harley Davidson Sprint. It was a two-stroke actually. It wasn't one of the single-cylinder, you know, laying down cylinder Sprints of the old, but it was a new one that they had, Italian. I'll put the name up here. I can't say it. Amici, I think. But I bought that, and I had a great time while I was in Germany with that. I used to race Porsches and such, but I only raced them downhill. I had enough speed to race them uphill. Get them in a nice tight, and the guy couldn't drive very well, then you could worry him a little bit. I couldn't beat him, but I had fun worrying him anyway. I thought I was pretty good. Then, just before I left Germany, I saw this, you know, BMW come out with the R90S. You know, the ones that had the kind of two-tone paint, you know, the little cafe racer fairing, you know, on the front, the clock. Oh, I thought those were neat. I never did pull the trigger on one of those. I ended up getting engaged, so I'm saving my money for that. That did not work out, and neither did the motorcycle. I've always had a place in my heart for an R90S. That might be the reason I had this R90T here, you know, with a little two-tone paint. It's not the same thing, but it's reminiscent. Well, I was doing pretty good for those, you know, through the... I never did get those two motorcycles, and I think the next one I liked, lusted after, was the one of those Mike Hillwood Ducatis. I never did own a Ducati. I've ridden them, but I've never owned one. So, but never did quite get around to the Ducati thing. I never did like those dry clutches. You know, they made too much noise. I think the next bike going down there that I kind of lusted after, I didn't get it at the time, is in 1985, the Kenny Roberts replica in the United States is called the RZ 350. You know, the black and yellow. I think in Europe maybe they had a red and white, but it's with the racing colors, the black and yellow. And I really wanted one of those. I didn't get one. I ended up with a I bought a BMW K75S, and really should have bought the RZ350, but luck would have it that one of my students I was teaching there in Tucson, Arizona, in military school, came through, and he was going over to Italy, and he was wanting somebody to sell his motorcycle for him, so I volunteered to sell it for him. I kept it for about a month, and then I bought it myself. I think my wife saw that one coming immediately. I took that RZ350 with a 2-May exhaust system, yellow and black. I took the front of the fairing off because I didn't want to mess it up, because I was taking it road racing. You know, by that time, in the late 80s, 1988, you know, I was like 38 years old, so I was pretty old. The last time I road raced, I was about 20 years old, and I was crashing about every time I went out, so I said, well, I'll take this off. Well, when I was 38 to 40, I raced that. I did really pretty well with it, actually. It was pretty smooth. I didn't crash. I crashed once, but it really wasn't my fault. Somebody took me out. And just had a good time with that. And I ended up, when I ended up leaving that school, I ended up selling that bike. But two-strokes are really fun to have, and I really enjoyed having that one. It wasn't for the street for me, because I would just get into too much mischief around 5,000 or 6,000 RPMs. But I think I left out one of the bikes that I also lusted after, and I have done that since it came out. And I think the first time I saw that bike was in the magazines. I'm trying to forget. They still make the magazines, by Roger Hull. And I think it's Motorcycle Consumer News now. Boring as crap now, but when he had it, I kept it for that subscription for a long time, until like a couple years ago. But anyway, they had a Kawasaki 1972 Kawasaki H2 baby blue, and it had a sleeping bag strapped on, an orange sleeping bag strapped on the front. I might even have that magazine. I might look for it when I get back. It'll be raggedy though. But that H2, I've ridden a couple. I've ridden that model, and to date, I've had motorcycles up to 200 horsepower to rear wheel, and they've been really quick and really fast, faster than the H2 and quicker than the H2. Nothing has scared me more than riding that Kawasaki H2. I'd like to own one now. I don't know if I could ride it, but I'd like to own one. And through the years, you know, my tastes have changed a little bit. I really do like some of the, I don't know, classic or retro model style bikes. Of course, I own a lot of them, and they did them real fine. But I'm just wondering, how many, you know, or what kind of motorcycles were your favorites growing up, or maybe still, that you never, either you did pull the trigger on it, or you never did quite pull the trigger on it.